Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Cindy from Bunny Brick Designs. So I started playing with the Seriously Sassy bead box that I had gotten, and that was from Curated Bead Box. It's somewhere around here. Anyway, I started playing and I looked at the white and the purple, and I kind of just love this color. Now, I know they came with a locket, and I started coloring it with some permanent marker. I'm not sure I like it, so I'm gonna have to clean that and then see if I still want to use it, or if I want to paint it. I'm thinking I like the coloring because it kind of stands out a little bit. But for these beads, even with that, even if it was just silver, that locket just didn't go with these beads, in my opinion. So what I had done is I dug through my findings and I found this gorgeous locket with the white opalite, and I think that would go well with the white beads. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous locket, and this is definitely going to be mine. And I decided I wanted to do something a little more Victorian feel to it to kind of go with this beautiful locket. Now, I got this, I don't remember where I got this. I got it on sale at a store. I think it was the last one, and I just absolutely loved it. So I snatched it up, and it's been sitting in my stash for a while. So I have some leather, like suede cord here that is, and I don't know if you can see that in the light very well, it's metallic. So it's like a metallic purple, and I put it with a chain. So when it hangs on the neck, it's going to have a little bit of weight to it to kind of go with this. And I do like this purple. It's not exactly the same color purple, but when you put it together with those beads, it definitely goes. So I'm going to string these up, and then I'm going to show you how I made this. It does require a little bit of wire wrapping, not really that hard, and a wire wrapping to get the end, but we'll do that together. First, you're going to need a length of beadalon so that we can string up, and I know that there's some that came in the kit, but I'm just going to use mine and save that for the rest of the stuff because I tend to go through a lot of this. And what I'm going to do is I am going to grab a crimp bead, and we are going to go ahead. Do I have crimp beads loose? I think I have a loose crimp bead there. So I have a drawer full of crimp beads. Maybe I will dig out the ones out of this kit just to make it a little easier to have the same size crimp beads. So I love purple. Ooh, all right. So we've got a couple crimp beads there. I am actually going to crimp this directly onto the jump ring of the part that I've already done, just so I don't have to worry about putting it on later, because I've already done this side. And I did this side because I wanted to make sure I had my design before I edited this and did the video, so that you guys could see exactly what I was doing, but didn't have to go through the process of me figuring out what do I want to do, because I was like, yes, no, and I was trying a bunch of different things. Again, I tend to do a lot of that when it comes to my designing. I absolutely love these beads together. And so what I did was I did it so that it's mirror images on either side. So as you can see, there's two purples here in the center because that's where we're going to be stringing on the locket. And I'm just trying to get these to go through so that that double wire sits in some of those beads. Sorry if I'm off camera. We'll just adjust a little bit. For whatever reason, I've been working here. We'll just do this. We'll move you guys over because I've been working here trying to get the light for me. All right, so now we've got our first side on. Now this locket has a jump ring. I'm not real sure about this jump ring because it doesn't look like it's super tight, but we'll see. I don't want the locket to fall off of the necklace, and it's a pretty heavy locket, so you definitely want to make sure that you've got a pretty sturdy, and that jump ring seems sturdy. We'll see. I may go and get a pinch bail or something. Maybe after I hang it up, we'll see if it stays on. So when I say maybe is I'm basically jiggling this around because I want to see if that locket's going to fall off. And yes, I know this is probably way more than what a normal person would be doing. But again, I wanted to see, and it also tests my crimp on the end. Because again, these are very heavy glass beads, and that's a very heavy locket. So it withstood that. And so this is what it's going to look like when it's on the neck. I really like that. It's going to be pretty long. I'm thinking here, maybe I need to shorten this up a little bit. So we may need to shorten that by a few inches. So you'll get to see me redo, because I do want it, I want it up, and I'm just feeling it here. So maybe by that much. So yeah, so I'm going to have to shorten it by at least that much. So I'm going to crimp this other side. I'm going to get this set, and then we will shorten. And sorry about the noise. I live near a high school, and they're having a football game or a baseball game or something. Not exactly sure, but it's pretty noisy. There's a lot of people driving by, kids with loud cars. So if you can hear that, I apologize. All right, I'm going to get my jump ring. Or not my jump ring. I'm sorry. Yeah, my jump ring and my crimp bead. And I am going to thread this through a couple of beads. And then we will tighten this. And so to tighten this, I am just going to put my pliers in there. Oops, if I can keep my pliers in there. And I am just going to pull on it until it gets super close to being tight. And then I am just going to finish up and tighten that up. Perfect. Now I'm just going to crimp that end, and our crimp is done. we go. Making sure I don't cut the other wire. All right, so with that being said, I need to take off, I'm going to take off about this much. And so what I'm going to do, and see, that was what I was worried about, that jump ring. I may put 2 on there. I'm going to cut this real quick, and then we will restring that. So I just cut that. That's fine. So what we're going to do, just to make this a little bit sturdier, because that was what I was worried about, is these jump rings aren't super sturdy. Do I have some sturdier jump rings? Let's see. I think these might be sturdier. So I have all sorts of jump rings in my stash. Those are a little big though, because these I think were meant for keychains, but that is a little sturdier. Yeah, maybe. All right, so that may not go through the... So what I'm going to do is carefully take out that jump ring, grab this jump ring, and see if I can thread on first the chain. Ooh! Maybe. Get a good grip on that. So this chain is very tiny. There we go. Got it. And then I'm going to thread back through that and thread back through that. And that should be better. I could put a little bit of glue on there. All right, so I need to salvage my end here. So let me cut my wire, and then we will make a new, because I need my cone. All right, so what I did, if you don't have beading, like wire wrapping supplies, you can use, and I will show you how to do it, you can use a jump ring, or not a jump ring, but a eye pin, and I'm going to use an eye pin for this. And so all I did to get that in there was to, I'm going to open this, if I can find my round nose pliers. So I'm going to open this just a little bit, put my chain on, and then I am going to find my little crimpy So I have these little crimps. I'm going to use bigger ones on this. Again, you can put glue in this to put it together. You can obviously you can glue it, you can wire wrap it. I am going to take my 2 cords and I am going to crimp them into, again, this isn't going to be seen, this is going to be inside of this cone here. up in there a little bit, so it's really not going to be seen. And then what I'm going to do is thread that on there. Thread my chain on there. And then I'm going to close this up. Give that a good squeeze. Make sure it's nice and tight and that there are no gaps, especially because that chain is so tiny. And then we're going to stick this through there and we are good. I think I'm going to put, because I didn't the last time, I think I'm going to put a little silver bead cap on the end of this because I think it'll look better to cover that hole. And help with creating the loop. And so optional here, you can just do a standard loop or you can do a wire wrap loop. I am going to opt for a wire wrapped loop. Just because I don't want this going anywhere, and I can use a jump ring to put on my clasp. And so I am just going to take, and these are pretty stiff head pins, so I am just going to wrap, and I'm going to keep wrapping, doing a couple of wraps until it is tight up against that little bead cap there. And then that's about 2 wraps, 2.5 wraps. And then I am going to trim like that and watch wire go flying. And I am going to tuck in my end, and sorry if my big fat hands are in the way, here. And that's not pretty. I need to make that prettier. It's a little better. All right. Now, I still need to tuck that end in. There we go. And again, you can fiddle with these, getting them rounder. They will eventually adjust, and you can make them look really pretty. And so there we go. We've got a nice, pretty round loop, and I think that'll be perfect size. So I'm gonna again hold it up exactly where I want it to be. So now we just got to make the other side the same length. So what I need to do here, and I'm going to kind of show you, is I am basically going to eyeball it. You know, if you need to, you could measure it if you don't trust yourself to eyeball it. I'm going to eyeball it. I have a long chain here. And again, I'm going to eyeball it because it's going to be rough estimate. And if it's slightly longer, again, this is for me, so I'm not super worried about it. All right, now to create this end, it's just craft wire, and this is aluminum coated. It's like sterling silver coated aluminum craft wire, I think it was. I have this wire here, which is sterling silver. But for this, again, for me, I don't need super fancy stuff. So what I'm going to do is I am going to thread this in here. And I'm going to take, and actually I think I am going to use a piece of, let me get it here. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. All right, so I'm just going to cut myself a little piece, probably the same length as the other one. Here, sorry about that being off camera. I'm just cutting. All right, so this is 20 gauge wire, and I am just taking, and I'm going to hold it on there about in the center, and I am just going to, and it can be fiddly, I'm going to bend my wire around. Now this is dead soft, so it's a little easier to bend than some of the other wires. You will have to fight with it a little bit to get it lined up to start here. And then I am just going to hold on to it. And so this one has about, ooh, I'm throwing things, about 6 wraps. So again, I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to go anywhere. So I am going to do 6 wraps. So that's 4, 5, and once you've gotten it going, it's a little easier because it's got something to go around. And actually, I need to go on this side. Clean that up a little bit. And so I just used about a 2-inch piece of wire. And then I am going to snip there, snip there, and then we're just going to fold those ends in so that they are kind of tucked in, and I just bent that one. So what I'm trying to do is just tuck it into the leather, or the suede, just to get it so that there's no rough edges, because you don't want this scratching. So if you're going to make this for someone, you don't want it to scratch them. Tuck it in, clean it up, clean this side up. All right. Now I'm going to, again, just adjust and make sure, yep, that's going to be perfect. That's going to sit perfectly. And now I can get one of my bigger jump rings here because I need to replace this little jump ring with a sturdier one. So before I put the chain on, I might as well fix this. And you'll find when you're watching my videos, I don't necessarily have a set way of doing things. I just do things as I think about, oh, hey, I need to do that. Get that in there. Now I can find my chain. I think that's the right side, the right one. Yeah, maybe. I lost my chain. No. Is that the right length? Yeah, that's got to be it. All right. And so I'm going to thread that on there. We're going to close this guy up, make sure he's super tight. And that there's no space, no gap. All right. And now we're going to finish up this other side. And I need my eye pin. Do I have another eye pin out? I thought I had an eye pin out. I see a head pin. There we go. Apparently I grabbed eye pins or head pins instead of eye pins. All right, so we're going to open that up. We're going to grab the chain. I'm going to stick the chain on there first. That is, if I can get it on there. The trick with tiny chain is got to be able to see it. There we go. All right, so that's on there. Now we're going to do our crimp on the end. Side one, side two, and stick that on. And that's not quite the right length. So we're going to cut, and I'm going to redo that. Oh, I had an extra one out. Not to mention I had it twisted. So that's the other thing with working with leather. You got to make sure you don't twist them. I've done that several times where they're twisted a lot. There we go. And let's try this again. I've got a mess. I just cleaned up my workstation the other day, and then I started playing with this bead box, and now I've got a disaster on my workbench. I tend to do that when I'm beading, and then I'll clean up, and then I'll be like, oh, it looks so pretty. Now I can work. And then I'm working, and it's like, okay, there we go. That's perfect. And then I'm like, why is my table and my workbench a mess? And it's because I tend to be a messy designer. All right, we're going to close this guy up and find my end cap. Where'd my end cap go? Did I lose my end cap? Did I drop my end cap? Okay, guys, did you see where I put my end cap? Oh, it's probably staring me right in the face. Thankfully, I think I have another one. There's. All right. And we are ready to put our... I'm losing everything tonight, guys. It's probably because I'm beading on a Friday night and I've worked all day today, and got a lot of things going on this weekend, so I was trying to do stuff earlier, and so it is late tonight. All right, and here we go. So we're just going to bend this so that it's got a nice right angle. And then I'm going to wrap it around. And if you have to, on these, while you're trying to get a good angle there, if it's, you know, going to be too big, you can bend it some more. The way I tend to do it is I tend to hold on to it with my non-dominant hand, and then with my dominant hand pull, because I'm a little stronger in my dominant hand, adjust and pull. So you have a nice 90-degree angle on that, and then start wrapping. And again, it's going to be a little messy to start. We can manipulate it and adjust it. Again, you want to get that, at least get that first wrap started. And you want to try to keep consistent number of wraps on both sides, and try to keep your wraps close together. Don't put them over top of each other, because that just looks messy. All right, let's see if I can cut this off without. There we go. And I'm just trying to fold that under. And you'll know you'll get it in there when you can rub your finger across it and you don't feel any roughness. I still feel some roughness, so... Perfect. All right, so now we've got our two ends. And I think what I want to do on this, and I'm going to try it. I don't know if it's going to be sturdy enough. So I may do I was going to put a magnetic clasp on it, but I think this is going to be a little bit too heavy for the magnetic clasp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find myself a lobster claw. And we're going to put a lobster claw on this just because I don't want to take the chance that this is going to fall off of the neck. And for the lobster claws, I am going to use the big jump rings, these sturdy, heavy ones that I grabbed. Just because I don't want, again, I don't want these going anywhere. So we've got the wire wrap. And... that means the necklace itself isn't going to go anywhere. And so what I'm doing here, I don't know if you can see that very well on camera. I'll bring it up. I'm trying to get this jump ring a little bit closer, so I am pinching it. Let me grab my... there we go. I'm getting it, so what I'm trying to do is wiggle it back and forth until they get right up to each other. And then I'm just making it so it's a perfect circle. And there we go, that's one. We're going to do the other side here. And I tend to use my fingers a lot, which is probably why my nails are so horrible. That still has a little bit of a gap I can see. If you can see a gap, then they're not close together enough. There, perfect. All right, so this is the first pendant necklace from the Seriously Sassy. And I'm going to set my beadboard just to the side a little bit and let you have a look at the necklace. So it's really pretty. I'm actually going to try it on here real quick. It's a very heavy pendant. So I'm going to pause you, and then I'm going to put the camera up and I'm going to show you what it looks like on me, because this is going to be mine. So hang on a second. All right, guys, so this is what it looks like on. I'm not sure if I can't zoom out in selfie mode, but this is what the pendant's going to look like on. It's, you know, it's pretty heavy. It hangs perfectly where I want it. I love the way the beads look. I love the necklace. You can see my messy craft from behind me. So yeah, so there's the, I'm going to pause you again and put it back down. And all right, so it's back down on the table. Sorry about that. I hit the button before I finished talking a second ago. I'm really horrible at recording. But that is the first necklace from the Seriously Sassy collection from the curated bead box. I absolutely love this necklace. Like I said, this one's going to be mine. I'm going to bring you down here so you can get a good look at this pendant. I'm going to put a couple of pictures in here and probably wear this, you know, when I go out. This is kind of a like boho, I don't know. I feel like this is Victorian to me. It's got a Victorian feel. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.